Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's session, we are going to learn how we can actually add users in a SharePoint group via MS Flow or PowerAutomate. So there are certain scenarios where we want to manage the permissions via SharePoint groups, and dynamically we would like to add and remove users from a SharePoint group whenever some operations happen inside a SharePoint list. For example, if I am having one project list and where if I assign some project manager to that project list, then that project manager should be added to the uh, exact people and group which is respective for that project manager. So to demo that scenario, I have created one project list. You can see I have a couple of columns and I have manager. So what I'm going to do is whenever a person adds or any PMO adds this project item, then this manager field would be picked up and we will add that field in one of the SharePoint groups. So you can have your SharePoint group as project managers. So right now I'm just doing testing, so I can pick this test group. And I'll just copy this group membership ID because I would need that ID while using that in flow. So I'm just copying that. Now I'm going to the flow. So I'm going to create a new Power Automate, and that is instant cloud flow. I'll just skip that name for time being, and in trigger I'll choose whenever an item gets updated or created in my specific project list, then that trigger should kick off this workflow, this flow, and the user which is there in the manager feed would be added in the respective people and group. So I'm just typing the trigger when item is created or modified. So you can pick from this list as well. Now I'm doing a connection to my site, which is this site, and picking up my list, which is project list. Now in the next step, we'll be using the send HTTP request to SharePoint and with the post method, so that we can able to pick that user from the above previous tab and add that user from to that specific group. So I'm searching send HTTP request to SharePoint. Now I'll make a connection to my site, and in this method I'll be choosing post because we want to write back to the site, and under this URI we would be using an API to REST API endpoint to add the user. So I'll just copy that point which I have already written, and this thing I'll also share under the description so that you can directly pick up and copy that. So this group number is 6. As I said, you would get this ID whenever you get to this people in group page. You will get this ID, so you have to pass this site group ID over here. So the names does not work, so to keep remember we have to pass the IDs only. So under the header we'll be using the standard header except and application JSON. And the key we'll be using content type. So all this information I will paste in the description so that you can directly pick up instead of writing. Now in the body part we have to because we have to make that update, so we have to pass a body with metadata and with the property name as login, so that we can just specify the claims which we get from the previous tab in that. So I'm just copying it, and the same thing you will get in the description. So now it's copied And under the login name, as I said, because we'll be fetching that from previous tab, so I'll choose the dynamic content. So I'll just type in, because my field was manager, so I'll type in. So with manager we get these many fields because it's a people picker field. So remember not to use email or any other thing. We have to use the manager claims, I mean the claim of that person, because it should be the entire login ID instead of just email. So I'm just choosing that and giving a name to this. Add user to PM group. Alright, so now I'm going to save it. Now I'll go back to my list and we'll create one test entry. So you can specify, you can pick up any user. So right now I'm picking my name, and in currently there is I'm directly not added to this people and group. So after running this flow, I should be there. I'm just entering any test description and saving it. So we'll just check whether our flow ran or not. So it may take 20 to 30 seconds to run for the first time, so let's wait. Okay, so it did run, so we'll just click on this. And so once you expand this send an HTTP request, you would able to see what body it passed in. So sometimes it happens like if we are not there because of typo errors, so we get this metadata errors, that metadata is not the name is not valid. So you can check why. If you want to debug, you can check like what the string you are passing in the body at the runtime. So possibly like with the, if you are removing these codes in front of these claims, then also we will get invalid JSON error. So these are the areas where you need to be cautious with the codes, and using this metadata keyword. It should be double underscore metadata, not a single underscore metadata. And in the body, in the response, you can see what it has returned. So you can go over this. So we'll just check whether it has added the user in our group or not. So I'll just refresh it. Okay, so this added user, the project manager for that particular project, has been added. So though like guys look very simple, but it's very effective, because in flow we can't able to I mean like assign the permissions for at that item level. So we have to design our SharePoint list in that fashion that we should be binded with the list with different groups, so that the runtime permission can work for this. So this flow could be a key to manage that sort of permissions. So just add users based on the I mean like whatever the project manager is assigned to that project. So I hope this could be helpful for you, like while creating the runtime, the exact solutions. So I think like that's it for today. Thank you.